Okay, so today we're going to continue looking at writing equations for different situations and using those equations. So if you've already looked ahead on 1 and 2 on today's notes, it's pretty much exactly what we did yesterday, so a quick review. Also want to take some time to look at these Fahrenheit to Celsius questions. The fraction can give some people problems, but these were all from your homework last night, so you should have seen these before. We'll run through those, make sure that we're feeling good about that, and then we'll look at 4 and 5 where you're given an equation, you don't have to come up with it yourself, and then you have to use it, which surprisingly is sometimes more difficult because when you make the equation yourself, you know exactly what everything means and where stuff should go. But when you're given an equation, sometimes there's a little bit of confusion on what everything means. Why is there this negative? Why did they use H or anything like that? So we'll take a look at those. But let's start with number 1, quick review from yesterday. We're going to write an equation representing the situation and then use it to solve for whatever they're asking for. So number 1, John goes to Mexico on spring break. His airline ticket was $130, plus he's charged for checking 3 bags. So the one thing we don't know is how much the bags cost. So that is going to be our variable B. We also don't know the total cost. Okay, so write an equation that can be used to solve his total cost. If that's what we're trying to find, that's going to be your variable C. And you can use whatever letter you want. So we're going to say C equals, we know the total cost came from his $130 ticket plus the bags. So you can put the 130 first, or you can put it second. But we know, once we know the cost of the bags, we're going to have to multiply that by 3. So the equation is going to look like this. But remember, we can write it as 3b plus 130. If we want to reverse that order, either one is fine. We can even put equals C at the end, and you can use different letters as well. Okay, so lots of different ways to write this. Letter B, find the total cost of the trip. So find the cost, which is C. So we're looking for C if the checked bags cost $40 each. So B is going to equal 40. So we're plugging in 40 for B and trying to find C, total cost. So C equals, I'm going to put the B first, so 3 times the cost of the bags, 40, plus the cost of your ticket, 130. So this is 120 plus 130 for a final cost of $250. And then we talked about letter C, find the cost of a checked bag, so find B. We don't know what B is now. Now this question is separate from letter B, so brand new, start over, new information. Find the cost of a bag if we know that the total cost of the trip, so that's C, was 240. So we're going to replace C with 240, and we're going to try and find the cost of a bag. So we're going to rewrite this equation again. I'm going to slide over here. Instead of C, I'm going to put 240, and that's equal to 3 times the cost of a bag, which we don't know, we're looking for that, plus the $130 ticket. So what we can do is we can subtract the $130 ticket off the total price. Okay, and that's going to leave us with $110. And then we still have 3 bags to pay for. So we're going to divide by 3. And now this one does not come out to a nice number. If we take a look in our calculator, it's 110 divided by 3. We get this repeated decimal. Now we're talking about money here, so we actually want to come up with a number. So this rounds up. So this is actually going to come out to $36. We need to go 2 spots here because it's money. So we would say 66 cents, but the first number we're dropping off is a 6. 5 or higher, we bump this up. So instead of 66 cents, we're going to say 67. So we're going to say $36.67 for a bag. Money always rounds up. They're never going to let you round money down. All right, number 2. Again, review from yesterday. Janet goes to Target and she buys some shirts for $43. She also buys 3 equally priced boxes of cereal. We don't know how much those cost. We just know that they're the same. So I'm going to use B for boxes of cereal. We know that she bought some shirts. We don't know how many. Total cost was $43. But when we're trying to figure out total amount of money spent, it doesn't matter how many shirts because the total was $43. The price over here matters because there was 3 of them. So once we know what that cost was, we would multiply that by 3, tack on the 43, and that's her total bill. So write an equation that can be used to find her total bill. So this equation needs to solve for the bill. So B equals, she spent $43 on shirts, and She bought 3 boxes of cereal. So 3 times B. So if you added all that up, you get the total bill. Now notice I just used the same letter in both spots. That's not good. We don't want to do that. So you could use a C for cereal here. You could use a B for, or a C for cost. Okay, so I'm going to have to change this right here. So instead of 3 times B, I'm going to put 3 times the boxes. Okay, we don't want the same letter for both things because they represent different stuff. So now find her total bill if the cereal boxes cost $3.50 each. So if they cost $3.50 each, we're plugging that in for the boxes of cereal and we're trying to find the total bill. So the bill equals 43 plus, there was 3 boxes of cereal, $3.50 each. Just plugging that in. Multiply, that's $10.50. And you're going to add the $10.50 for the cereal plus the 43. And so we're going to add these two together, and that's going to give us a total of $53.50. And then letter C, use this equation to find the cost of a box of cereal if the total bill was $51.97. So now that goes in for B, for the bill. And we're trying to find the box of cereal. So I'm going to change this now to a C when I plug it in. So we're trying to find C if the bill is $51.97. So this B right here represented the bill. I'm going to change it to $51.97. And that's equal to all of this, the 43 plus 3 boxes of cereal. I'm going to change this to a C. So I just want to find out what's the cost of 1 box of cereal here. So I'm going to try and get C by itself. So I'm going to minus 43. So $51.97 minus 43 leaves me $8.97. And divide that by 3 to find out how much 1 box costs. And that comes out to $2.99. All right. Moving on to number 3. Same idea. You got 2 variables. One of them is being multiplied by something. And then you have a constant, a plus 32. Now, the 9/5 is a fraction. So if we're going to multiply 9/5 times C, and it's, say, 15, you would have to put 15 over 1. And then multiply and simplify. But if we have a calculator, it's very easy to get rid of the 9/5 and turn it to a decimal. So you're just going to type in 9 divided by 5. That's what the fraction says, 9 divided by 5. Hit equals, and it tells you the decimal version of that fraction, 1.8. So if I wanted to, I could rewrite this as F equals 1.8 C plus 32. Okay, it means the same exact thing. 1.8 and 9/5 is the same thing. So I'm going to leave it like that, and this is what I'm going to use. It's a little bit easier just to divide by 1.8 than having to worry about KFCing and stuff like that. So now, use the equation to find the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. So we're trying to find Fahrenheit. So we're trying to find F. Our final answer is going to say F equals. If it's 15 degrees Celsius outside, so the Celsius, the C, is what was given to me. Remember, they always have to give you one of these 2 letters, and then you're solving for the other one. So they told me C was 15. So I'm going to write F equals 1.8 times C, which is 15, plus 32. Now we just run the numbers. So 1.8 times 15 is 27. So F equals 27 plus 32 for a final answer of F equals 59. The other way you could write it is you could write it as 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, either one's acceptable in that case. Now, letter B. Use this equation to find the temperature in degrees Celsius if it's 68 Fahrenheit outside. So this is the F. So we're plugging in for F now. So 68 equals 1.8. I don't know Celsius, so C plus 32 minus 32 on both sides. And we're going to get 36 equals 1.8 C. Now we're going to divide by 1.8 here. So 36 divided by 1.8. And we get 20. So C equals 20, or you can say 20 degrees Celsius. All right, and we divide it here by 1.8. If you want that in your notes, we divide it by 1.8. All right, moving on now, looking at some new questions where they're going to give you an equation and you have to figure out how to use it. So this equation shows how the number of boxes of shingles that Quan's roofing service has left is related to the number of homes that the company works on. Before you even worry about the equation, just think about that statement. So you got a roofing service. They're working on homes. They're putting shingles up on a roof. So think about, they start with a certain number of boxes, and then as they work on houses, they should have less boxes, right? Because they're using boxes on the house. So if you take a look here, S is going to end up representing your shingles, and H is going to represent your homes. So it tells you that right here. The variable H represents the number of homes that Quan's roofing service has worked on, and S represents the boxes of shingles remaining. So if you take a look, there's a negative here because every time they complete a home, shingles are being used and they're going away. So the S, the number of boxes of shingles, should decrease every time that they work on a house because they're using up boxes, so they have less and less boxes remaining. That's why there's a negative here. So the more homes you plug in for H, the bigger this negative number becomes when you multiply, and that actually makes this final S smaller because you're making this a negative and you're knocking it off the 79. So as we look at this equation, 79 actually represents the number of boxes they're starting with, and then every single house is taking 4 off of that because you put in 1. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4, so that negative 4 comes off. Or if you plugged in 2 houses, negative 4 times 2 is negative 8, so then negative 8 would come off of the 79. So every house takes off another 4 boxes of shingles from the 79, and then that's what you're left with. All right, let's answer the question. If Quan's roofing service works on 3 homes, how many boxes of shingles will be left? So just like we did on the equations that we made, we just have to figure out, are we plugging in the number that's given to us, the 3, for S or for H? And then we're probably solving for the other one. So it says that he works on 3 homes. So that's H. 3 represents H. So you're going to plug it in for H. How many boxes of shingles, this is S, will be left? So we're trying to find S when we're given H. H is 3. So you're just going to take this equation and you're going to plug in the number for H. So S, the shingles, equals negative 4, plug in 3 for H, plus 79. So you're going to multiply and you're going to get negative 12. So what's happening is, since they worked on 3 homes, and each home they're pretty much using 4 boxes of shingles. So after 3 homes, they've used up 12 boxes of shingles, and that's why it's negative. Because they're gone, they're going away. They started with 79, and so this 12 comes off the 79 because it's negative. So you're going to add these two together, and that means they have 67 boxes of shingles remaining. So they started with 79. They use 4 every house. After 3 houses, they've used 12. Those 12 come off the 79. They've got 67 remaining. So number 5, same idea. This equation shows how the amount of vegetable oil that Logan has left is related to the number of cakes that he bakes. So if you think about it, the more cakes that you bake, the less ingredients you're going to have remaining because you use them. So his vegetable oil should become less and less and less for the higher the number of cakes. So if you just look at this, the variable C represents the cakes, V represents the vegetable oil, how many ounces of vegetable oil. And so V equals negative 5 times C. So the negative means that every time he's baking a cake, the amount of vegetable oil is going down by 5. 44 would be what you started with. So if Logan has 29 ounces of vegetable oil left, 29 is V, so you're going to plug in 29. How many cakes did he bake? We're trying to find C, so put C right here. And now you're just going to solve it. We want to find what C is, so you're going to minus 44. And this is going to put you in the negatives, and that's okay because we're going to end up dividing. So this is negative 15 equals negative 5C. Divide by negative 5 to finish it off. And C equals 3. So that means if he has 29 ounces of vegetable oil left, he baked 3 cakes because 3 times 5 is negative 15. And that came off the 44 to finish it off. So it has 3 cakes left. So they're going to give you one of these 2 variables. Plug it in. find the other variable.